fighting there for the legacy,
Yeah.
And I also want to fight. I also want to fight there for the legacy.
How are you
And
getting?
it's
Oh,
a
God.
dream, to be double champion Madison Square Garden. That's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Very
When?
soon, very soon. And
Yeah.
it's going very.
What happens when a champion's path to glory is blocked not by an opponent, but by a promise? For months, Islam Makhachev, the undisputed king of the lightweights, was a man trapped. His dream of achieving the legendary double champ status, of holding belts in 2 divisions simultaneously, was held hostage by a single fighter, his friend and training partner, Belal Muhammad, the welterweight champion. An unspoken pact between them meant they would never face each other in the octagon, a bond of loyalty that effectively slammed the door on Islam's welterweight ambitions. As long as Belal held the 170-pound crown, Islam was a king confined to his own kingdom. Then, at UFC 315, in a twist of fate that sent shockwaves through the sport, everything changed. The catalyst was Jack Della Maddalena, an Australian striker with dynamite in his hands and an iron will. Stepping into the cage against Belal Muhammad, JDM wasn't just fighting for a title, he was fighting to shatter a political stalemate that had frozen the top of 2 divisions. In a masterful performance, Della Maddalena systematically dismantled the champion. He showcased brilliant takedown defense, stuffing Belal's attempts to bring the fight to the mat, and outstruck him with crisp, high-volume boxing to earn a clear, unanimous decision victory. The moment the new champion was crowned, the landscape of the UFC was irrevocably altered. The path for Islam Makhachev was suddenly, unexpectedly, wide open. This entire scenario was a product of pure chance, an accident of fate that the UFC could never have engineered. JDM was only in the title fight because the original challenger, Shavkat Rakhmonov, had pulled out due to injury. His victory was a significant upset, derailing the promotion's likely plans. Had Belal won, Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, confirmed the plan was for him to defend his lightweight title against the surging Ilia Topuria. But JDM's win created a chaotic, unpredictable, and far more compelling storyline. Almost immediately, as if unleashed from a cage, Islam took to social media. A single powerful tweet ignited the MMA world and set his new course. Time to become a double champion, inshallah. Let's go. With Belal dethroned, the biggest obstacle to Islam's ambition was gone. But his next move would create a firestorm of controversy, raising a question that split the entire sport. Was he chasing a new crown or running from his old one? With the path to a welterweight title shot cleared, the focus immediately shifted to the belt Islam already possessed, the UFC Lightweight Championship. In a move that sent ripples through the division, it was announced that Islam would vacate his 155-pound throne to fully commit to his pursuit of the 170-pound title. But the story wasn't that simple. This decision became the heart of a raging controversy, a debate over whether Islam willingly abdicated his throne or was quietly forced into exile. On one hand, the official narrative, pushed by Islam's camp, was that this was a strategic and honorable choice. His manager, Ali Abdelaziz, framed it as a quest for legacy, a champion seeking a greater challenge. Islam himself, in a candid interview with Mike Bone, explained that the timing was a major factor. He wouldn't be able to fight again until late in the year, and holding up the entire lightweight division for that long would be unfair to the other contenders. From this perspective, he was a noble king stepping aside for the good of his former kingdom. However, a darker narrative quickly took hold among fans and critics. Whispers grew that Islam was not just vacating, but was effectively stripped of his title by the UFC. Many pointed to the glaring inconsistency in the UFC's policies, drawing comparisons to John Jones, who held up the heavyweight division for an extended period without facing any such pressure to vacate. The fact that Islam himself publicly stated that he did not want to give up his belt only added fuel to the fire. This fueled a perception that the UFC, seeing a golden opportunity for a blockbuster champ versus champ fight, manipulated the situation to its advantage. By forcing Islam to vacate, they could simultaneously create two massive title fights, Islam versus JDM for the welterweight belt, and fight for the newly vacant lightweight crown between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. The ambiguity served the UFC perfectly. It allowed two powerful stories to coexist, one of a hero chasing greatness, the other of a protected star being maneuvered by the promotion. Both narratives sparked intense debate, generating priceless promotion for the company without them ever needing to clarify the truth. Whether he was pushed or jumped, Islam's throne was now empty, and the man who believed he was the rightful heir was about to launch a public campaign accusing the former king of being nothing more than a coward and a hypocrite.
The drama surrounding Islam's vacated title was immediately weaponized by one man, Ilia Topuria. The undefeated, hard-hitting Georgian-Spanish fighter had recently moved up from featherweight with his sights set squarely on the lightweight championship. He arrived at the gates of the kingdom only to find that the king had already fled, and he was furious. This ignited a bitter and intensely personal feud, a shadow war fought on social media that captivated fans and built a secondary, high-stakes narrative alongside the main event. Topuria didn't mince words. He launched a blistering public assault, directly accusing Islam of cowardice. "It's unfortunate that Makhachev ran away," he declared on Twitter, framing Islam's move to welterweight not as a challenge sought, but as a challenge avoided. But his most potent attack was the charge of hypocrisy. In a scathing statement, Topuria revealed a private slight that now looked like a public contradiction. He said he didn't want to give me the opportunity because I was the little guy. Now he is the little guy looking for the same opportunity that I was looking for. A hypocrite. He finished with a brutal final assessment. "He is the biggest hypocrite I have ever seen." The accusation was explosive, painting Islam as a man who belittled the smaller fighter for wanting to move up, only to do the exact same thing himself. Islam's response was just as brutal, but cold and dismissive, where Topuria's was hot and emotional. He fired back on Twitter, aiming to dismantle Topuria's credibility. "Difference between me and you, that I clean top list in my division, moved to next, but you ran away from two contenders," Islam wrote, before delivering the final insult. "You are nobody in LW division, just a big mouth from Spain with nice haircut. Go get one W and we can talk, boy." It was a calculated clapback designed to put Topuria in his place, dismissing him as an unproven loudmouth. What makes this feud so compelling is that Topuria's frustration is rooted in a legitimate what-if scenario. Islam's own manager confirmed that had Belal Muhammad won his fight, the plan was 100% for Islam to stay at lightweight and defend his title against Topuria. Topuria was on the verge of getting his dream fight, only to have it snatched away by JDM's upset victory. This public war of words is more than just a side story. It's a promotional masterstroke. The UFC is allowing this shadow narrative to build, creating a future super fight that will be massive regardless of the JDM outcome. If Islam wins, a champ versus champ showdown with Topuria is a promoter's dream. If he loses, a grudge match against Topuria becomes a high-stakes path to redemption. The controversy is a win-win. While the war of words with Topuria raged online, a new front was opening. The man Islam was actually scheduled to fight, Jack Della Maddalena, had his own message to send, a simple, chilling dismissal that questioned the very core of Islam's physical dominance. While Islam was busy fending off accusations from a rival in another division, the actual champion he was set to face was launching a psychological attack of his own. Jack Della Maddalena, the newly crowned welterweight king, wasn't interested in complex debates about legacy or divisional politics. His attack was simple, direct, and aimed at what he perceived as Islam's greatest weakness. In a stunningly dismissive in-cage interview, JDM laid out his intentions with a confidence that bordered on disrespect for the pound-for-pound #1 fighter. "Yeah, it's the dream first title defense, pound-for-pound #1, JDM began, before making it clear this was personal. "Get him back from V. We saw what V did to him. I'm going to get him. He's too little. He's too little. I'm going to get him." The V he referred to was his countryman, Alexander Volkanovski, who had twice failed to defeat Islam. JDM was positioning himself as the Avenger for Australia, adding a powerful, nationalistic storyline to the fight. But the most shocking part was the repeated taunt, "He's too little." It was a calculated probe designed to undermine the very foundation of Islam's fighting style. For his entire career at lightweight, Islam had been the bigger, stronger man, a physical bully who imposed his will. By moving up to welterweight, he was willingly giving up that advantage to face a true, powerful 170-pounder in JDM. Della Maddalena's taunt wasn't just trash talk, it was an attack on Islam's identity as a fighter. Islam's reply was characteristically cold and confident. He took to Twitter to issue a chilling warning, brushing aside both the comparison to Volkanovski and JDM's claim to the belt. "You are no Volk. I will show you different level. Keep my belt clean." The final phrase was a masterstroke of psychological warfare, a claim of ownership over a championship that wasn't his, framing JDM as merely a placeholder, a caretaker for the throne Islam was coming to claim. The battle lines were drawn, one man confident in his size and power, the other confident in his skill and pedigree. But beneath the trash talk lies a fascinating technical chess match of the highest order, a classic clash of styles that has analysts completely divided on who has the key to victory. Beyond the heated words and political maneuvering lies a tactical chess match of the highest order. The impending clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena represents one of the most compelling stylistic puzzles in modern MMA, a seemingly unstoppable force meeting a highly evolved and immovable object. Analysts are torn with compelling arguments on both sides, making this a true pick'em fight at the elite level. On one side stands JDM, the striking savant. His style is built on a foundation of elite, technical boxing, characterized by relentless pressure and a dizzying volume of strikes. He lands an astonishing 6.84 significant strikes per minute, overwhelming opponents with masterful body-head combinations and sophisticated footwork that allows him to create and exit from angles constantly. He is not just a brawler, he is a thinking man striker. Analyst and former fighter Din Thomas has pointed out a potential key to victory for JDM. Islam has historically shown some difficulty with punches coming from a southpaw stance, a vulnerability JDM is perfectly equipped to exploit with his ability to switch stances seamlessly during exchanges. On the other side is Islam, the Sambo master. For years, he has been hailed as the heir to Khabib Nurmagomedov. But his game is far more than just wrestling. It is a sublime fusion of Sambo, judo, and wrestling, culminating in arguably the most suffocating top control in the sport. Once he gets an opponent to the mat, the fight is often as good as over. However, to label him as just a grappler is a grave mistake. His striking, often utilized as a tool to set up his grappling, is deceptively effective. He operates from a southpaw stance and possesses a devastating overhand left that has dropped multiple opponents. His own coach, Javier Merendez, has made the bold claim that Islam not only can hang with JDM on the feet, but could potentially outstrike him if he chose to. The unknown, the variable that could tip the scales, is the Craig Jones effect. Jones, a world-renowned Brazilian jiu-jitsu wizard, has become the secret weapon for fighters preparing for the Dagestani wrestling puzzle. He was instrumental in preparing Alexander Volkanovski, whose grappling defense improved dramatically in his first fight with Islam. Now he has been working with JDM, and the results are already apparent. JDM's takedown defense against a formidable wrestler like Belal Muhammad was a revelation. He demonstrated a new level of urgency, intelligent grip fighting, and innovative scrambling techniques to consistently get back to his feet. The evolution was so dramatic that a viral training clip showing JDM submitting the grappling guru Jones with a Darcy choke fundamentally shifted the public perception of his ground game. While likely a promotional stunt, the message was clear. JDM is no longer just a striker, a perfect striker with newfound grappling defense versus a perfect grappler with underrated striking. On paper, it's an unbreakable code. But what if the biggest threat to Islam isn't JDM's fists, but his own body betraying him?
In the high-stakes world of championship fighting, perception is reality. A fighter must project an aura of invincibility. Any sign of weakness, physical or mental, can be seized upon by an opponent. That is why a shocking revelation from Islam Makhachev himself has completely altered the narrative of this fight, transforming JDM's taunts into what could be a chillingly accurate prophecy. In a moment of unguarded honesty during an interview with MMA Junkie's Mike Bone, Islam admitted he was facing a secret battle, not in the gym, but with his own body. "I'm trying to get bigger, but it's not easy, man," Islam confessed. "All my life I've been cutting weight. Now that I want to bulk up, my weight just stays the same. I'm lifting more and following a strength program. So far, I've only gained maybe 2 kilograms. He made it clear he wasn't looking for a quick fix, stressing his desire to add real muscle, clean muscle through proper lifting and training, not just empty weight from a poor diet. This admission is a crack in the champion's armor. It gives immense credibility to JDM's primary line of attack. The "he's too little" taunt is no longer just psychological warfare. It's an echo of a fear that Islam himself holds. He is stepping into a new division to face a bigger, stronger champion, and his own body is resisting the transformation required to meet that challenge. This internal struggle has not gone unnoticed. Fans and analysts have been scrutinizing his training footage, leading to a divided public opinion. Some claim he looks huge, confident that his frame will adapt to the new weight class, while others express concern that any added mass will slow him down, potentially compromising the speed and explosiveness that make his grappling so effective. This public debate mirrors the champion's private struggle. He is caught in a physical paradox. He needs to get bigger to handle the power of a natural welterweight, but in doing so, he risks sacrificing the attributes that made him a lightweight king. This internal battle adds a profound layer of doubt to his quest for a second title. But the war for this fight isn't just being fought in the gym or on social media. It's being fought over a single location on a map, a location that will define whose legacy this fight truly belongs to. The final conflict in this multi-layered war is the battle over the venue. This is not a simple logistical debate. It is a proxy war for control, a power play that reveals the true psychological dynamics of the matchup. The location of the fight will set the stage, and both camps are fighting to ensure the narrative is written on their terms. On one side, Jack Della Maddalena's camp is pushing for a hometown defense in Perth, Australia. This is the dream scenario for any new champion. A hero's welcome, the roar of a home crowd, and the immense advantage that comes with fighting on familiar soil. It would be JDM's coronation, a celebration of Australia's new champion defending his throne. But Islam Makhachev has other plans. In a move of supreme confidence, he has completely rejected the idea of fighting in Australia and is making a bold demand for the fight to be held at the legendary Madison Square Garden in New York City. His reasoning is all about history. "I asked Dana if we have an opportunity to fight in Madison Square Garden. It would be an honor. They're fighting there for the legacy, and I also want to fight there for my legacy, to be a double champion in Madison Square Garden. This is far more than a preference. It's a stunning power move. Typically, a challenger goes to the champion's territory. Yet Islam is making demands usually reserved for the reigning king. His manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has doubled down on this stance, stating unequivocally that the fight will take place in the United States, in one of the biggest arenas on the planet, and explicitly ruling out both Australia and their familiar stronghold of Abu Dhabi. This signals that Team Makhachev believes they are the A-side in this negotiation, that Islam's star power and the allure of his double champ quest outweigh JDM's rights as the welterweight champion. By demanding MSG, Islam is framing the event not as JDM's first title defense, but as his own coronation. He is subtly disrespecting JDM's status, positioning him as the final obstacle in his personal journey rather than an equal champion. A fight for a belt, a fight for bragging rights, and now a fight for home field advantage. Every single aspect of this matchup is a battle, but the biggest revelation of all, a rumor whispered by his own coach, suggests that this isn't just one chapter in Islam's story, it might be the last. Just when the stakes seemed as high as they could possibly be, a final shocking twist emerged from the one place no one expected: Islam Makhachev's own corner. His head coach, the legendary Javier Mendez, dropped a retirement bombshell that has recontextualized the champion's entire career trajectory. In a stunning interview, Mendes revealed his private thoughts on Islam's future, speculating that the pound-for-pound king may be on a very short timeline. He stated, "I'm anticipating we'll see Islam hopefully for maybe another 3 fights total." Although he later clarified that this was his own opinion, not a direct plan from Islam, an assumption based on conversations with Khabib Nurmagomedov's late father about retiring around age 35. The idea was now out in the world. The seed of doubt had been planted. Suddenly, every decision, every controversy, every move Islam has made takes on a new, urgent meaning. This rumor acts as the ultimate narrative accelerant. His move to welterweight is no longer just a strategic challenge. It's a desperate race against time to secure a second belt before his career ends. The bitter feud with Ilia Topuria isn't just a rivalry, it's a potential final chapter that he may never get to write. His demand to fight at Madison Square Garden isn't just about legacy, it's about cementing that legacy now, before the window of opportunity slams shut forever. The 3 fights rumor transforms his welterweight campaign from a marathon into a sprint. This makes the showdown with Jack Della Maddalena the ultimate crucible. A loss would be catastrophic, derailing his entire endgame and leaving his legacy incomplete. A victory is not just another win, it is the essential first step in a final 3-fight blaze of glory. Islam has abandoned his kingdom, picked a fight with a dangerous new challenger in a higher weight class, and is battling his own body's limitations, all while the clock on his career may be ticking down faster than anyone realized. Is Islam Makhachev making a brilliant move to cement himself as an all-time great? Or is he a king in exile, making one last desperate gamble before he vanishes from the sport forever?